This conference will now be recorded.
Can someone tell me what in by constructor? We discussed about method, functions. If it's within the class, to execute that function, we call it as a method by applying a self option. And if you want to initiate the non-static variables automatically, instead of using a methods, we are going to use constructors. Are agreeing that? Are comfortable? The concept what I explained to the constructors.
Yes, Amma.
Now, following to that, we have one more concept called destructors. The same oops concept in the first feature, encapsulation. The last concept is destructor. Constructors are going to be initiate automatically when you are creating an object creation. In the same fashion, destructors are going to help you to run your a piece of code or user-friendly message. When you want to do garbage collection, those scenario destructors will work. So delete can apply on a static variable, which I explained in the previous class. So delete the static variable name. System is going to be delete the static variable. Delete can apply on non-static variable. We discussed about that. Delete can apply on a reference variable, nothing but object. System will reduce the reference count by 1. So if you by observing this one, you need to understand delete is not going to delete the value. It is just trying to reduce the number RC count, reference count by 1 number. And it is not going to be initiate or moving the data from your actual RAM to your garbage. It is just reducing the reference count. Whenever the reference counts become as 0, then only the data will be wiped off from the RAM. It will go to garbage collector. So when RC becomes 0, reference variable will be deleted. So delete is not going to do anything here. Delete is just reducing the number count from some n number to n minus 1 number. By 1 number it will be reduced. Always constructor have a name underscore underscore init underscore underscore. So that is a concept what we discussed in the previous class. And when you're coming to destructor, destructors always have a name like underscore underscore delete del underscore underscore. So if you are using init, system is going to consider as a constructor. If you are using del, system consider as a destructor. All our previous topics covered about constructor part of encapsulation. If you remember when I started OOPS concept, there are 4 features. Out of 4 features, the first feature is encapsulation. The concepts whatever I explained you from the day one of the OOPS till today, I'm including destructors, are part of encapsulation. Nothing but collecting the data and following some procedure or a methods. Together we call it as a encapsulation. Uh, I mean, you have to confirm me in a Java is it the same concept or not? Because in a Java also we have a OOPS concept and there are some features like encapsulation. Whether they're following the same or not, I don't know. So so destructors. So it is also part of encapsulation. Whenever a object gets removed, destructor will be executed. Now, when the object will be removed means when the RC count becomes 0. So for an example, there are 3 variables: X variable, Y variable, Z variable. All 3 are static variables. So when 3 variables are referring to the same number, nothing but 10, RC will be 3. When I removed X variable, DLX, then RC become as 2, n minus 1. That time destructor will not be initiated. Again I deleted Y variable, so DLY. Now RC become as 1. From 2 to 1 it will be there. That means still RC is 1, it's not become as 0, so destructor will not be called. When I delete Z also, Z variable, then RC become as 0. When RC is equal to 0, then only the destructor will be initiated. Till that, destructor will not be called. Are you clear what I'm trying to say?
Yes, Sama.
It will be executed automatically whenever an object gets removed. That means it is similar like your method or a constructor only, but this piece of code or method will be executed only when RC becomes as 0. Else it will not be executed at all. It's automatic, similar like your constructor. So let's see how it works. So example, class test. It's a class variable I created. One is a constructor. The first one is a constructor. Df underscore underscore init underscore underscore print some information. Df underscore underscore dl underscore underscore. So there is one constructor, one destructor I have. Now t1 equal to test. That means one RC will be created. T2 equal to test. So there will be another address, a different indirect address to the T2. T1 address and T2 address are different, so RC becomes 1. T3 equal to test. That means the object of the class, there will be different address to T3, so RC equal to 1. Print T3. I get some address here, some address of the object, reference object. So T3 equal to test. Again I printed. So will it be same or a different address? Any idea? Will it be the same or different? Don't read the test message. That is only for future reference. T3 equal to test I given. So whenever you give T3 equal to test, there will be a new reference, new address will be created, and the old address will be removed. So when the old address is removed, the previous T3 reference count was 1, so it will be reduced by 1. That means it will become as 0. Then destructor will be called, and it will say that destructor is called. Let me show you. So you have print 3. No, I'm not executing this part. Now you can see this is the object, indirect address of the object of the class for T3. And whenever you create the object T1 equal to test, the constructor is called, and T2 equal to test, the constructor is called, because that is just a print information. It's called initiated. Now when you have the rest of the information, again what you did here is T3 equal to test. Again you're assigning a class to the object. That means the old address will be overwrite with the new address. Now you can see here the old address was B1CO and the new address is B3D0. So the address is changed. When the address becomes as 0 for the old address, the RC will become as 0 and destructor will be called. In destructor, you have message saying that destructor called some information. So it's automatically executed and it got printed. Clear? Any questions?
Yes, Sama.
Same example in a lengthy manner. So T1 equal to test, T2 equal to T1, T3 equal to T1. Now in this scenario, one address whatever you have in T1 is also referring to T2 and T3. In the previous example, T1 has a different address, T2 has a different address, and T3 has a different address because those are directly referring to the class. But here you are creating an address with reference of the T1 with reference variable of T1 and the same address also referring to T2 and T3, just pointing it. So when you say print T1, print T2, print T3, you'll get the same address. You can see here, same address you got it. Hope you're clear. Print T1, print T2, print T3. Now what I did here is I just again referred the same class. So the address of the T1 is modified. You can see here. Hope you're clear. Now address of the T2, address of the T3 also modified because I just given direct reference to your class. So T2 equal to test, T3 equal to test. Earlier it was just pointing through T1. I just pointing to T1. Now everything got changed. So I just directly refer to test and print T1. T2 equal to test, T3 equal to test. So three objects are being created. So you can find three different addresses. When T3 called, when T1 called, the reference count become as 2, and when T2 called with the object is created once again, then reference count become as 1. When T3 equal to test, reference count become as 0 for the previous address. So automatically your destructor called. Clear? Any questions? How the destructors will call? It's not only the user friendly message like a print. You can write a piece of code, save the information, save the values in Excel, or store the values into archive file in SQL. So what the piece of code whatever you're writing, you can able to take a backup. Hope you're clear what I'm trying to say. Now when you have unique addresses for three different reference variables like a T1, T2, T3, I just removing the objects. Delete T1, delete T2, delete T3. And T1, T2, T3 are unique address. You can see here unique address B3A0, B2E0, B250. Unique address. So when I delete one time also, the reference to count become as 0. So the destructor will be called automatically. You can see three times destructor is removed because delete T1, delete T2, delete T3. Amini, Giri, I hope you are getting what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
Same example. Delete keyboard is not removing any object. It is just used to decrease the reference count. As I told you, just for an example purpose. If object RC equal to 3, then how many reference variables will be there? Means only 3. Just for your note purpose, if object reference count is 3, you have one object and reference count become as 3. That means how many reference variable you have means only 3 only there. In the previous example, T1 equal to class name, reference count as 1, and T2 equal to T1, T3 equal to T1. So the reference count will be 3 and reference variables will be 3. If 3 reference variables uh, storing same object address, then RC will become as 3 only. The same question in a different manner. If there are 5 objects, then which one is going to be right according to you? Maximum number of times a constructor will be executed is a 5. Minimum number of times the constructor execute is 5 times. Maximum number of times the destructor is going to be execute 5 times, minimum number of times the destructor is execute 0 times. So which one is right according to this? If there are 5 different objects and you 5 different objects, assume that those are then refer to 5 different reference variables. Which one is right, to tell me? So when the constructor will be executed? When you are creating any object reference, am I right?
Yes, Sama.
So that means 5 objects you are assigning to 5 different variables or reference variables. That means 5 times the constructor will be executed.
Yes.
So which one is right in this? And is there any chance the destructor will work? Will the destructor works when you are executing anything, unless until if you use delete option? So can I say that 3.1 and 3.4 are correct? The maximum number of times the constructor executes is 5 times, and the minimum number of times the destructor works is 0 times. Because the destructor will not work. Reference count is going to be 1 in case if you are going to be use unique reference variable to unique objects, one object to one reference variable. So 5 times the constructor will work, the maximum number of times, or the minimum number of times the constructor is going to be work only one when you are using the same unique. And similarly the destructor will not be work. The reason is destructor work only when RC becomes 0. So the minimum number of times the destructor works is only 0 times. It's not going to execute even single time if I'm not going to use delete option. Are you agreeing with that?
Yes, Sama.
Applying constructor and destructor concept in a list. So can I apply the constructor and destructor option in a list or in a CSV file or somewhere? In the sense, yes, we can apply. So x equal to, I have a list is going to be in square bracket. So I have some, it's a heterogeneous list. So integer, float, boolean operator, and again string, everything I have it. So print text, you are going to see the list, and it is going to be RC equal to 1. RC is going to be 1. Now delete one reference, delete x1, x of 1, nothing but I want to delete 2.5. 2.5. Can I do it? In the sense, yes, we can do that. When you use the delete options, the system is going to delete the value. Now you can see here 2.5 got removed in the second line. So in case if you write some destructor, the system is going to be start initiating the destructor. And delete x of 0. X of 0 is nothing but the position, index 0
Okay.
position. If the value have 10, that has to be removed, and destructor will not be called. The reason is x has 2 times. The first position 0, 1, 2, 3. Third position 10. So if one 10 is removed, there is another 10. Nothing but RC become RC from 2 to it will become as 1. So RC will be 1. So destructor will not be called. Hope you are clear what I'm trying to say. In the previous example, x of 1, 2.5 is only unique number. So destructor called. But here, x of 0, the value is 10. It is has 2 times. So RC become as 1. So destructor will not be called. And x of 1 is nothing but true. Why I'm telling true means 2.5 is already removed. So if I remove the true is maintained only one time. So RC was 1 and it will become as 0 and destructor will be called. Clear? Any questions?
No, Amma.
So if you execute, the same thing will be there. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. First we removed, what is the value? X of 1. So 2.5 is waived. So you got this data. Now X of 0. So 0 position number is nothing but 10. It got removed. So destructor will not be called because 2 times we have 10. So true 10, Omar. Now X of 1. So X of 1 is nothing but 10 value. This time 10 will be initiate the destructor also because 10 is a unique number now in the second iteration. So true and Amar will be there and destructor will be called. In the second here, destructor is not called when you remove the 10. In the third iteration, when you remove the 10, the destructor will be called. Hope you are clear what I mean by destructor and how it works. And the last example for in a destructor is employee count managed by constructor and destructor. So when you start adding an employee, it has to be increase the employee count. When you remove the employee, it has to reduce the employee count. So two things you have to manage. Using a constructor, we are using incrementing the employees. Using a destructor, we are decreasing the employee count. So class employee name, that is a class name. Employee count by default, initially it will be 0. So it is going to be static variable. Reason is within the class before the methods. And we are going to create a constructor. So def underscore underscore init underscore underscore in bracket self. And I'm just giving x variable and y variable. X is nothing but a name, y is nothing but salary. So self dot name equal to x, self dot salary equal to y. Here x and y are local variables. Self dot name and self dot salary are non-static variables. Employee count equal to employee count of plus 1. So when I start in adding a new constructor, a new value like Amar salary, Giri salary, Amini salary, when I'm including a record by record, system is going to be increase the count and store it back to employee count. Now I'm going to delete a record of Amar, or I'm going to delete a record of Amini or a Giri, then destructor will be called. How this system knows it has to be delete option in the sense Amar record is unique, so unique address will be there. RC will be 1. For Giri record, it will be RC equal to 2. Some address, unique address, and for Yamini, it will be different address. So when I use a delete option, system automatically delete that record. So def underscore underscore del underscore underscore self. So it's for destructor. Employee count, I'm going to reduce by 1. I'm not doing anything, just reducing one number. So def display employee self print employee name and employee salary. Now what I'm doing is for Amar, I'm creating a new object. Employee is the class name in bracket. I'm passing two local variables, Amar and salary. So when I'm passing in first record, RC become as 1 and I'm storing an object called EMP1. And I'm creating another object called Giri and his salary, two different object called employee 2. So Amar object is different and Amar reference variable is different and Giri reference variable is different. So RC will be unique, single number. For Amar is 1 and Giri is 1. So when you use display option, display employee, you can able to see the employee details. emp1 dot display name, you can see Amar record. emp2 dot display employee, you can see the Giri record. Now print total number of employees, comma class name dot employee count. you will see total number of employees. Now I'm deleting first object, delete emp1. So the emp1 object will be removed. So the data whatever you are referring through emp1 will be removed. So the destructor is called. When the destructor is called, the employee count will be reduced by 1. When you see total number of employees, it will become as 2 minus 1, that will be 1. When you delete second employee also, second object also emp2, so Giri record will be removed, and the total again the destructor will be called, because Giri record is also RC equal to 1 only. It will become as 1. It will become as 0. 1 minus 1. So it become as 0. So destructor will be called, and total number of employees will become as 0. Let's see. So as I told you, Python interpreter has the intelligence in which line I have an issue. Employee count minus 1. EMP count. There is a typo mistake. Just see EMP count. Employee spelling. EMP count plus. So class name dot static variable name. So now when I entered first record Amar and his salary, I got it. When I create second object emp2, I got Giri salary and Giri name, and total number of employees I have 2. When I delete the first object emp1, Amar record is deleted. Now when you see total number of employees, you can see only 1. Similarly, when you delete the second employee object, so employee 2 got removed, so total number of records become as 0. Any questions?
No, ma.
As I told you earlier, destructor is the last concept in encapsulation, nothing but first feature in oops concept. So encapsulation is nothing but combining the data and methods. Encapsulation implemented by class. So you're going to call the data with the reference of your static variable, non-static variable, then local variable and global variable. So that is the way you can call your data, and you can able to utilize it. And how you're calling your methods means, any idea? Your methods, constructors, all these things, destructors, all are going to be help you to complete your day-to-day procedures, or your requirement procedures you're going to be finished. So combination of your methods, the procedures and the data can be your static, non-static, per you can able to use it, and you can able to finish the work. For initializing non-static variables, automatically we can use constructors, default and parameters type of constructors we discussed. So these are the concepts we discussed so far in OOPS. Then what else we have in OOPS? In the sense, we have handling data methods, hiding data methods. Hiding data methods are going to be next concept we are going to discuss. Any questions on this? Till now. So the second feature in OOPS concept is abstractions. After abstraction, multi-thread. And there is one more I forgot right now. It's not coming to my mind. So there are 4 features we have. All the 4 features we have to discuss. So till now, any questions up to 3:35? So abstractions we'll discuss tomorrow class, and from here it will go very fast. Only encapsulation will take a lot of time. So which we already completed. Any questions? Or it's fine. I mean, agree.
No,